Good morning to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to do the MC for today's event. We are honored to have a highly distinguished panel of speakers on this special day. As we gather here for the awareness session on the Logistics Innovate 24, let's take a moment to center ourselves and invite positivity into this space. I would like to welcome Reverend C.S.E. Rose, Chaplain of MCC, to do the opening prayer.
There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. God had made everything beautiful in its time. God has also set eternity in the hearts of human. Yet they cannot fathom what God had done from beginning till end. Loving Heavenly Father, we thank you for the new day and the good morning that you had given to us. We thank you for MCC MRF Innovation Park, where there is a lot of ideation, there is innovation, and a lot of outcome of startups. We thank you for the professionals that you had brought to us this day. We thank you for their expertise in their various professions and fields. We know that this day and this age has transformed itself to a lot of ideation and innovation. It is not just a stagnant, static world that we have to live in. We have to move on. We have to change the world. We have to transform the world for better living and to enable humanity to live in a better space with better facilities. We know that you are in control of this world, and whenever we find that we are depleting in certain resources, we look forward for the source of all sources. And help of God as we discuss, as we listen, as we interact in the various forums and in the various sessions this day. Your Spirit will descend upon our hearts and help us to know that we could innovate something new. We could get into a new space where there would be wholesomeness and your presence will be there. Lord, we thank you for all the professionals that you had brought to us, the cream of society from whom we would listen. We thank you for the participants. Bless all of us. We thank you for the organizers who had organized this meeting so well. We invoke God's presence from the beginning till the end of this program. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen. Kindly be seated.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Sharmila Stanley, Associate Professor and Coordinator of Business Ideation Club, Department of Commerce, to welcome our respected chief guests of the day.
So good morning and a very warm welcome to one and all gathered here. On behalf of MCC MRF IIC Business Ideation Club of Department of Commerce, it is my honor to welcome you to the panel discussion, which is part of the TT Skills Logistics Hackathon. Logistics domain has become the backbone, the lifeline of global commerce. Because success in logistics translates into enhanced customer experience, strategizing the much needed competitive advantage which impacts business gains. In fact, if we all had our morning coffee and if we are all here on time, in this venue, then I think somewhere the logistics has really worked well. It would impact our life if somewhere logistics is not functioning. So it is kind of intertwined with our daily life. And according to Ministry of Commerce and Industry report, India ranks 38 out of 139 countries on World Bank's Logistics Performance Index Report 2023, thus exhibiting a very significant improvement of India's stand compared to the past. The National Logistics Policy that has been formulated by the Commerce and Industry Ministry in 2022 also thrusts to improve India's trade competitiveness, defragmentation, more job creation. It also aims to place India's ranking in the Logistics Performance Index among top 25 countries. So we get to see how the government is also moving in a great way to ensure that this sector is growing. Logistics has always been a critical pillar of commerce, but never more so than today. So with this backdrop, this event actually marks a significant stride in this direction. This is a very unique confluence of minds, ideas, and innovation. And we are very privileged to have with us today some of the most respected and esteemed leaders in the logistics industry. So a special welcome to our esteemed panelists, the CEOs of 5 leading logistics companies. Mr. Karthi Bhaskar, MD and CEO, FFAF Logistics. Mr. Naveen Kolathur, COO of Driver Logistics. Can we all give a big round of applause? Mr. Ramesh Venkat, VP, TNS DC. Our very own alumni, a big round of applause. We are very privileged to have our alumni. And also Mr. Ilango Narayanan, an alumni, MD of Polkart Logistics. And Mr. Debajyoti Bakchi, VP, TTK Group, who will be the moderator for today's program. And also I would like to welcome all the other people from the logistics sector. Thank you for being here with us. In fact, your presence here today is a testament of your commitment to nurturing young minds and fresh talent to bring innovative solutions to this dynamic field. I'm sure your insights and experience will no doubt inspire the young minds in this room as they embark on this journey of ideation and problem solving. Because the challenges posed by globalization, rapid technology advancements, and complexities of supply chain management, they demand new ideas and creative solutions. So it is through events like this hackathon that we are able to harness such innovative potential of our young talent and find new ways to address these challenges. So I would rather say, more than this hackathon being a competition, it is a platform for collaboration, because there is more to come and there is more hand-holding that is going to take place for all of you. And also to enhance your imagination and creativity. You will be able to think outside the box and craft solutions that can redefine the future of logistics. And with mentorship from industry experts who are seated here and the guidance of very accomplished panelists, we are confident that this event will foster some breakthrough ideas. And also a word of welcome to our principal, actually, who is not here in our midst, and also our bursar. But because of some meeting, our principal could not be here, but he is the one who initiated this whole thing. So we are really thankful to our top management for all the support they extend towards whatever is required. And also, I wish to thank and welcome our chaplain, Dr. C.S.C. Ross, who was there in our midst, offering the prayers. And welcome to all the participants. I'm sure all of you are so eager, right? Because we have been creating a kind of a hype to all of you to introduce, before we can introduce you to the members who are seated here. And so with a lot of excitement, all of you are seated here. I'm sure this is going to be an exciting journey of learning. And also, whatever is going to happen here, probably it will shape the future of logistics itself. So with those words, let me welcome each and every one of you present here. And thank you, and looking forward to a collaborative learning. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm welcome note. The Logistics Innovation Challenge is a structured competition with inbuilt upskilling sessions designed to stimulate creative thinking and problem solving among young participants to address specific issues, opportunities, or goals in the broad sectors of logistics and supply chain. To present this with a broader picture regarding the Logistics Innovate 24, I welcome Dr. C. R.T. Ram, Head of Operations, MCC MRF Innovation Park.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to actually introduce TTK Group, which is over 40 years of experience and has been, the brands that we know today, starting from Kellogg's to all the brands, from Kiwi to Scotch-Brite to all our FMCG products has been introduced to India from TTK Groups, and they have been part and parcel of our day-to-day life. And this TTK Skills has been a new division where they are also getting into making students industry ready and be there in the journey of the huge industry like Sharmila ma'am mentioned in logistics and supply chain. I would like to, I may not do justice in introducing TTK Group enough. All of you, definitely would have had the experience of working with Atlases. We were introduced to the whole world through to TTK Atlases, and that's the immediate, brand that comes to my mind when we talk about Atlas or FMCG products or Prestige, and they have been there part and parcel of our lifestyles. I would rather introduce them through this video and their 40 years of experience through this. They have turned 40 very recently. So this would do much justice to them. Okay. The TTK Group of companies has been there since 1984, and they are widely into pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, FMCG products, and they have also, like the milestones mentioned, logistics and supply chain has been the backbone of all the businesses they have ventured so far. And that's where, a keen interest on developing this TT skills has also, I believe, has come up to understand the other verticals. Head by a family group with the legendary founder TTK Krishnamachari, the business runs through 450 US dollars. 450 million US dollars is the total worth of all the companies that they are part of. Thank you so much, and please, I wish to give a huge round of applause for the company who has introduced all the bands to us and been part of our lifestyle, and recently also launched the TT Skills. And we are very fortunate and very happy to put this together with them while in their budding stages of TT Skills. which they are planning to put together along with us. And this innovation challenge we believe will be the first step in the whole journey of TT Skills. Of course, it is going to become a huge brand like TTK itself. So what is this logistics innovation challenge? All of us are introduced to the concept of hackathon. We are put into a brainstorming regimen, maybe a very crash course on thinking wide and design think on novel stuff, solutions. Coming from an arts and science college, we again believe that it doesn't restrict to just technology, and logistics and supply chain again being the growing market like Dr. Sharmila was mentioning here. We wanted to do the same innovation drive with the design thinking initiatives in this particular sector. And this sector, we just didn't want to, do this like a hackathon with a competition of prize money and competition with, just getting awards. This we wanted to integrate with meaningful intervention from thought leaders from the industry, and that's why we have put together into a 3 months of, the whole program, Innovation Hackathon. So this particular challenge is targeted towards anybody who is an Indian and between the age group of 18 to 25. So all students especially and immediate passed outs are in the industry as fresh minds. We are more focused on fresh minds who have, and we believe that can crazily think beyond the limitations of the industries. And to get to the nitty-gritties is where the thought leaders will help you drive through the innovations. And these will be the stages through the innovation challenge. So we are expecting, we are already accumulated approximately 100 entries, 100 ideas in the program through applications. We are open in our website, and you can apply through the program. And we have already started collecting 100 pan-India. So we are looking for more. The more the merrier. From that, we are going to nurture the top 50 selected ideas who will be selected based on their feasibility, scalability, and novelty of the ideas. And then on, we will be giving them an opportunity and mentorship with these industrial experts and business experts from MCC MRF Innovation Park with complete access to the facilities here. So you can build your wireframes, build your frameworks, build your prototypes here, and that will be judged, that will be nurtured again, and the top 5 will be actually given an opportunity, will be given a seed money of 1 lakh rupees each, and also an opportunity to get incubated further, fully funded incubation program again with MCC MRF Innovation Park. So each team gets a benefit of worth rupees 2 lakhs each, and that's what is going to happen through this program. The problem focus areas, we had huge, we could see the enthusiasm with which the thought leaders here had put their minds behind summarizing the whole their experience to come up with this problem statements, which we will shortly discuss in detail with the experts here. And these are the 4 focus areas we would summarize the whole problem statements of the hackathon. And this program was digitally launched on 5th of September. Today we have the elaborate session on the focus areas, and we believe we will be able to wrap up the whole event and have the ideas that we are very, very keen to work with by December. Again, as I mentioned, these will be the criteria, so think as wide as possible and your ideas are welcome. You can deep dive, and we are looking out for more crazy ideas in this segment. And as I mentioned earlier, it is not only an opportunity about winning, it is also a journey that we want to give you through this innovation challenge with leaders from the business, leaders from the industry coming together, and we will be licensing between you and the ideas. We have Mr. Arjun Reddy, who is the founder of Nidium AI, an expert in AI technologies, who will help you with the tech part of it. And then we have Mr. Radhagopandiya Rajan again, who will help in sustainability solutions. He has a entrepreneur himself doing Scrapify as a sustainable solutions for environment safety. And then myself and Mr. Franklin from the internal team in Innovation Park will be helpful in licensing between the industrial experts from TTK Skills. We have the leaders of the industries from them. Mr. Karthik Bhaskar, you will be listening to most of them today. Mr. Karthik Bhaskar, Mr. Kochat Narendran, Debajodi himself from TT Skills, and Vijaya Govindarajan, who is putting together a whole program, will all be part of this program to mentor you one-on-one. So the journey is most important rather than the destination, which is seed money and opportunity to get adopted from TTK Skills. And that's a brief introduction about TTK Skills.
Welcome to TT Skill, where excellence meets experience. Brought to you by the TT Group. A name synonymous with trust has a legacy of over a century. At TT Skill, we bring forth a rich reservoir of expertise spanning diverse industries, from manufacturing and logistics to airlines, cargo, education, insurance, travel, outsourcing, and even sports. But there's more. TT Skills presents a distinctive educational platform tailored to the needs of corporates, students, and government bodies. Our meticulously designed courses, available for both online and in-person training sessions, are crafted to ensure you stay ahead in this ever-evolving world. Our trainers boast a minimum of 2 decades of hands-on experience and industry partnerships in their respective disciplines, providing internship opportunities with leading airlines and air cargo operators. Highlighting our credentials, our partnerships with globally renowned universities and Indian institutes means that our certifications are not just locally recognized, but globally accepted. The TT Group boasts of a robust global presence and a wealth of experience, positioning us as a seasoned and internationally adept entity. Join TT Skill and unlock your potential.
Thank you. I think more exploration can happen through the panel discussions.
Thank you, ma'am. Success is never an accident. It's a result of hard work, resilience, and unwavering commitment to a vision. It's an ability to rise after every fall, to see opportunity where others see challenges, and to transform dreams into reality. Today, we are truly honored to be in the presence of someone who exemplifies these qualities, a leader whose journey is a testament to grit, innovation, and an indomitable spirit. As we gather here, let us open our mind and heart to the inspiration of someone who has not only climbed the ladder of success, but has redefined it at every step. Now, I call upon Adeline, Benita, and Charles to introduce our esteemed guest of honor. Together, they'll bring forth the story of a leader whose journey inspires us all.
Thank you, Ms. Priya. So it's my honor in introducing all this wonderful panel of members. So up front, it is a great honor in welcoming Mr. Debajoti Bakshi, who wears the hat of Vice President at TT Group, where he looks after strategic planning, operation, and profitability within the air freight sector in India and abroad. He has a vast experience of over 19 years in logistic and supply chain industry. He also leads the cross-function teams, develop client relationship, and negotiate contract and drive innovation to optimize logistic processes. Mr. Debajoti has successfully planned, coordinated, and controlled the activities of bonded and non-bonded RFS businesses Plan India, achieving world-class customer service and profitability. He has also set up streamlined process and produced outstanding outcomes in cargo handling and delivery operations, meeting conference targets and service level agreements. He's always been a person with great passion and innovation. It's our honor and pleasure having you, sir. I call upon Mrs. Dr. Sharmila Stanley to hand over the memento to Mr. Devajyoti Bakshi. We welcome you, sir. Can we have a round of applause?
It is my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Karthi Bhaskar, the Managing Director and CEO India of FFAF Logistics. With over 33 years of experience in transport management, aviation, supply chain, warehousing, and logistics solutions, Mr. Karthi is a visionary leader driving innovation and excellence in one of the world's most dynamic and competitive markets. Equipped with Meta Leadership degree from Harvard Kennedy School, Mr. Karthi has successfully led strategic initiatives that have not only strengthened FFAF Logistics, but have also contributed to the development of new startup locations, products, and projects across the industry. His leadership style focuses on creating value for the country, society, and the logistics sector by addressing key challenges such as rural development, social engineering, and women empowerment through innovative and sustainable solutions. Mr. Karthi's dedication to operational excellence and his commitment to fostering growth in both industry and the wider community have earned him widespread respect. His passion for leveraging logistics to make a meaningful impact on society truly sets him apart. I call upon Aarti ma'am in welcoming Mr. Karthi Bhaskar. Let's put our hands together.
Next, we have an amazing person as well, Mr. Naveen Kolathur. Mr. Naveen Kolathur is a distinguished leader and a lifelong student of supply chain with over 23 years of experience at DHL across US, Singapore, and India, renowned for establishing COEs and driving profit turnarounds. Mr. Naveen has led operations and digital transformation projects, securing multi-million-dollar deals. Key achievements including setting up the IT service quality department as well as 4 PL and LLP operations in 8 countries. A visionary leader and mentor, Mr. Naveen is celebrated for integrity, work ethics, and a commitment to positive thinking, passion, and innovation. Mr. Naveen actively mentors startups and contributes to industry events. He is a regular guest lecturer at various academic institutions and a speaker at various industry events. He is currently the co-chair of Supply Chain Management Subcommittee at the Southern Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We are so delighted to have you among us, sir. I call upon Dr. Mrs. Sharmila to hand over the memento to Mr. Naveen Kolathur. Can we have a round of applause, guys? We welcome you, sir.
It is my distinct honor to introduce Mr. Ramesh Venkat, the Vice President of Industry Partnership Global Investors at Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation. With an impressive career spanning diverse sectors such as retail, automotive, industrial, food, pharmaceuticals, and consumer logistics, Mr. Ramesh has held leadership roles in top-tier organizations including APL Logistics, YCH Logistics Pte. Limited, Future Group, Murugappa Group, Henkel, and Britannia Industries Limited. A logistic professional with in-depth domain knowledge, Mr. Ramesh has expertly managed multi-modal logistics and supply chain management both domestically and internationally. He has made significant contributions to the logistics sectors through his previous role at the Logistics Sector Skill Council, where he served as the Head of Industry Partnerships and CSR. In the capacity, he acted as a vital link between the Government of India, industry, and academia, driving collaborations that created sustainable impacts. Now, in his current role at the Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation, Mr. Ramesh continues to shape the future of the logistics sector by fostering partnership with global investors. His passion for consulting, developing skills, and creating job-ready, employable youth is reflected in the various initiatives he spearheads. Mr. Ramesh is also deeply institutionalized skills across sectors, enhancing corporate productivity and operational efficiencies. I call upon Dr. Selvakumari in welcoming Mr. Ramesh Venkat.
Last but not the least, finally, we have Mr. Ilango Narayanan. Mr. Ilango has more than 27 years of outstanding career and experience in the field of logistic management. Over the course of his career, he has successfully managed multiple roles, including National Full Truck Load Department, heading large-scale full truck department with more than 20 branches across country, and has also great interest in operation management and has successfully delivered services. Over the course of his career, he has delivered a number of industry-leading projects and concepts, including special projects such as LLP, lead logistic provider to customer, acting as customer's logistic arm, and managing multiple 3PLs. MRO projects successfully launched and wrapped up the first MRO operation for steel industry in Asia for DHL. Designing and launching new concepts and transportation projects. New concepts including first resourcing center, a center to digitalize, standardize the recruitment and training for operation team, e-commerce fulfillment DC blueprint for omni-channel distribution center, and has also worked with many global and Indian entities to draw out logistics solution. Mr. Ilango has successfully led operations for one of the largest regions with 32 facilities of 2.8 million square feet with more than 2,800 personnel, setting up the full track load department from the plan to performance with more than 20 branches across the country. He has also designed and implemented one of the most complex PL projects in India, which includes X-work conversion, designing milk run and launching the project with significant saving. Ilango has also executed program in advanced business analytics and big data from IIM Ahmedabad. And now comes the most interesting part as well. He's our alumni MCom from Madras Christian College. Certified International Mergers and Expert Acquisition from IMA, and he's also notable and accomplished for his awards and recognition. Asia Pacific CEO Award, Employee of the Year Award, and Emerging Leadership Award. It's such a privilege to have you here, sir. To welcome Mr. Ilango Narayanan, I call upon Dr. Shamilama. We welcome you, sir. Can we have a good round of applause? We welcome all the panel members, and it's our pleasure inviting you all. Over to Ms. Priya.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction of our esteemed panelists. Now that we know the experts who will be guiding us through this insightful discussion, let's dive into the heart of today's conversation. A panel will explore briefly on the topic of logistic and supply chain management, sharing their valuable perspective, experience, and strategy that have shaped their success. We'll begin by hearing from each of our panelists, which will be moderated by Mr. Debajyoti Bakshi with an open dialogue with our participant. I welcome you, sir. The stage is yours. Give him a big round of applause, guys.
Okay, before we move into that, I would also like to welcome each and every one of our experts who are gathered here. Mr. Govindarajan, CFO, TT Group. Mr. Govindarajan, thank you so much, sir, for being here in our midst. Mr. Kochit Mahintharesan, President, Director of TT Skills. Mr. Sridhar, Project Director of TT Skills. Mr. Victor, Commercial Head of TT Logistics. Dr. Vijaya Govindarajan, Head of Academics, TT Skills. Mr. Dharmalingam, CFO Group of Digital, Hinduja Group. Mr. John Tangaraj, Faculty of TT Skills. Mr. Lawrence, Quality, TT Logistics Assurance Manager. Thank you. Thank you. Now over to the moderator.
Thank you so much. Is my voice audible to everybody? I can't see all of them, so I need to probably come a little forward. No, it's there. Space is there. No issues. Thank you so much. First of all, very good morning to all of you. I'd like to thank MCC MRF Foundation, especially Dr. Aarti, Dr. Shamila. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And we are here to discuss about the problem statements that you have already seen in the slides, and just to do a bit of a deep dive and just to give you the kind of perspective and exposure so that it is going to help you to think out of the box beyond the lines. So our intention for this discussion is definitely we're going to tell you the future trends of logistics and the innovations that is actually happening. We are going to share with real life examples with you and the challenges that we all faced, and we are continuously overcoming that. We are going to give you a perspective of the global context as well as how India is positioned in this competitive edge. So before I start, I just give you a small story. The story is, there is one ship, okay, just reached the port after a sailing of almost like 5 or 6 days. When the captain actually taking out from the ship, they have identified there is a problem in the ship. And then the owner of the ship has actually called up an engineer. So engineer came, he inspected, and he just made that problem fixed in 15 minutes. So the ship owner and everybody was very happy to see that, because everything is fixed in 15 minutes, no problem. And then asked for the bill, so that they need to make the payment to this engineer. So the engineer sent an itemized bill of $20,000. Then the owner of the ship said that, boss, it is only going to take 15 minutes and you are charging $20,000. Can you give me a breakup? You always ask for a breakup, right? So the breakup he has given, the instrument that he used, it was like $2. Just $2, and his experience to know where and how to fix that particular machine is 35 years of experience, right? So in this particular panel, all these 4 are distinguished panelists. They have altogether more than 175 years of experience, and we are going to probably try to get things done in next 90 minutes so that we get the perspectives about their journey, how they have actually come to this position, and what are their perspectives to the logistics industry. Right. So are we ready?
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. How are we going to talk? The mic or something is there? Oh, you're there. Thank you so much. Okay, done. Right, so my first question, before I start the discussion, we just do not want to have this a very, intensive discussions or something, but we're going to stop in between. If you have any questions, please feel free to answer, feel free to ask the questions, and we will try to answer all these questions of yours. And let this particular session be a little more interactive so that we all are the, partners of this discussion. We will go through the journey together. Yeah, so let's start. My first question is to Mr. Ramesh Venkat.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the first question, which is probably the, talk of the town right now, which is going on, is that you mentioned about, JLR is coming, right? From London, they're shifting their unit to Ranipet. Adidas, they are also coming to that. So the question is that they are all setting the plant in Tamil Nadu, right? So what, according to you, the opportunities for the students that you can see for this logistics and supply chain industry?
Thank you. Firstly, I would like to thank TT Skills and MCC MRF, Innovation Park for having me and us here for the session. So to answer, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to state that Tamil Nadu stands the most progressive state in the country. The reason being, we have the highest number of industries in India. There are about 38,600 industries. And the second is not Maharashtra, it is Gujarat now. So the reason it has been industrious over the last several centuries. So there are a lot of global investors who are foraying into Tamil Nadu. Reason being, we have multimodal logistics, facilities here in Tamil Nadu. We have air, road, rail, and sea. Places like Delhi does not have these, at least sea. And availability of large land parcels and educated youth like you. So there's ample opportunities for youngsters like you to actually rise, shine, and flourish in logistics sector. Just to give you a genesis, I used to be a student like you in '85 in the same college. Of course, it's transformed. It feels so nostalgic for me to be here after 40 years. And I never dreamt that I would get into logistics. But the journey I've had was traveling across India. I was into retail. I was heading the logistics for all the Big Bazaar, Pantaloon, Hometown, Brand Factory, Central across India. Then moved into international logistics, handling the supply chain and logistics for Adidas, Nike, IKEA, and a lot of Harley Davidson across the world. So what it takes is your passion, your dedication to get into logistics, okay? And mind you, we never had formal education in logistics till about 2000. We did not have any colleges or higher educational institutions imparting knowledge on what is supply chain, what is logistics. So what we had was practical and experiential learning how to move things, how to move goods or cargo from place A to place B, and what are the systems, process. So once you adapt to the terminologies, the ecosystem, and do well what you do, I think life would give you a better opportunity to take you far higher than what you actually envisioned or imagined. So like what Debjyoti said, there are a lot of foreign investors, very large players stepping into Tamil Nadu, opening up very, very large global, state-of-art facilities like Adidas and Jaguar Land Rover, who are shifting the EV plant from London to Ranipet, and they seek thousands of placement opportunities for the youth across UGC, engineering, post-graduation, and logistics is there to play a big game because these companies come on a PLI, okay, which is performance-linked incentive plan for exports, where they need to manufacture and export these goods that they manufacture to globally. So it's an opportunity where you can thrive, and it is good to see that there are a lot of young boys and girls adapting to logistics. It's a champion sector, it's a growth sector in India. If you take Tamil Nadu, there are about 5 to 6 champion sectors, I would say. And those of you who want to make a note, please make a note. Tamil Nadu is a hub for automotive. There are a lot of automotive factories here. You have Hyundai, Ashok Leyland, TVS. Okay. Similarly, second is BFSI. Okay, banking, finance, insurance services. These are all champion sectors which I'm telling you has highly employee intensive opportunities for you to thrive. Third is logistics. Again, you have in logistics sector, I would like to tell you that there are 12 logistics subsectors, which is like transportation, warehousing, e-commerce, cold chain, liquid logistics, supply chain, rail logistics, and so on. So these are branches or streams that you can definitely get into. And e-commerce today is really taking the front stage. And another industry that is on the tipping point for growth or trajectory is the cold chain, which is fairly nascent in India, and it's got tremendous opportunity for you to get into cold chain companies and grow. So there, once you join these kind of companies, your role in logistics is to understand the systems, process, material movement, the finance flow, the documentation flow, and there is so much of technology that is going to take you to a different place. I mean, and please don't think today there are a lot of non-tech people getting into tech, a lot of tech people getting into non-tech streams after the NEP 2020. So it's a great opportunity for you guys to embrace logistics and grow. I'm sure it will give you phenomenal opportunities to travel across India and travel across the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, logistics probably the only sector where there's going to be a job loss. So I can give you an example when the COVID started, right? So overnight there is an announcement from government that there is a lockdown, which means that you're not supposed to go out, right? But on that particular time, the things were still moving in terms of the essential items. There's a special word that has been introduced by the Ministry of Commerce, essential items. If it is termed as essential items, so it can still move. So everything on a lockdown where everything is so important for all the consumers, so everything's become an essential item. So how it has been moving on air, by road, there are some shops that will open, there is point 1 to point B that needs to be transported, and it actually, got into for everybody. So we were, when we were there in the logistics, the part of the logistics and supply chain, so we were never at house. We were again outside and try to ensure that the demand versus supply is fulfilled. So logistics probably is one of the sector that there is never going to be a recession, and then the job loss is not going to be. You will definitely find out something. And this is a domain where it doesn't matter whatever you do, you will definitely find something for yourself to contribute on that. Ramesh sir, just to come what you actually said, there are a lot of factories coming in, a lot of developments that is actually happening in India. When it talks about the infrastructure, right? What according to you, because when you're talking about this, all the developments that actually happen, there is also at the similar time the congestion is also happening, right? So how do you think, and how government should actually address the kind of a congestions, infrastructure challenges at the city side? In fact, the air cargo terminals that we have, right? So much of demand, so there's a lot of congestion. So what according to you that should be the key takeaways for the congestions?
Yeah, great question. And this, I think all of us can see the kind of transformation that Madras to Chennai has seen. What it used to be about maybe even 5 years ago, now particularly in logistics, the airports are becoming bigger and better, okay? And there are already news that we are looking out for a newer airport in Chennai outside city. And same is the case across India. Similarly, if you look at seaports, again it's becoming bigger and better with larger vessels or ships coming in. The capacities are enhancing. So this is across rail, air, road and sea. The transformation that you've been seeing in logistics, there are two parts. One is people logistics, the other one is cargo. So both are into almost in a congestion mode, as Mr. Debjyoti said. To avoid this or mitigate this is why the metro rails are put across, so that the congestion is minimized, people can travel freely. Same thing is the case for cargo. So in fact, if you look at aviation logistics, there are larger freighters coming into the airports today. Minor airports are becoming major airports and international airports. I mean, if you look at, say, 10 years ago, there were not as many airports in Tamil Nadu. You know how many airports Tamil Nadu has got today? Can somebody take a wild guess? How many airports does Tamil Nadu have? Guess, no harm, no marks.
Any guesses?
No? 9. Okay, 9 airports. And even smaller cities like Salem, Pondicherry are getting airports, which makes both the commutation for passengers and the movement of cargo without congestion and faster. Over a period of time, when we reach economies of scale, there will be a reduction in the cost to transport. So infrastructure is very, very vital for growth. When I say infra, it doesn't stick to the building and structure. It also moves into technology. Okay, you have better hardwares and softwares. Today things have become post-COVID, paperless, contactless, faceless. So infrastructure and growth together for both includes men, material and machine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ramesh sir. I will come back to you very shortly. My next question is going to be to Mr. Karthi sir, right? And we'd like to take a topic of sustainable logistics. So my first question to you, when you're talking about goods manufacturing practice, when you're talking about a goods distribution practice. Now, so if it is GMP or a GDP, whatever you call, how this guidelines, how this practice is going to actually help for a sustainable logistics in place?
Yeah, thank you. So basically, this GMP is goods manufacturing practice and goods distribution practice. So these are generally used in industry on the manufacturing side. It's similar to an ISO model for a normal process related, but these are based on this GMP practice on the manufacturing side. You get certified and your processes are vetted because it's like an error-free processes. And how do you drive zero defect and all that? And this is very, very prominent now in pharma industries, in the pharmaceutical industries. And as you know, generic, we are almost the largest exporters of generic pharma from India, particularly Hyderabad, Bombay, and Ahmedabad, and Chennai a bit, has a lot of pharma companies in that. So when these companies export to developed countries like US or Canada or UK, they might, when they, for example, US is like FDA certified, so all the products coming from India. So they look at the process driven, approved by GMP practices. That's how the whole thing is, they come for plant inspection, verify this GMP process, and the products are certified to be exported from India. Example. We have done, example, I can give you a case study. We had done a product from Hyderabad to a customer in the US. This is our pre-filled syringe for an heart surgery. So actually when they do an open heart surgery, you open up the heart and then you have the live operations going on. In that stage, you pump this pre-filled syringe so that the blood does not become a clot. Example. So what happens is, in this, they need 100% efficiency on the product. And second one is, not only a product is done in India, how this product is transported from India to US by an air freight, or not only an air freight, picked from the customer door to the airport. There's a customs process or a cold chain facility in the airport. And post the airport to airport, on arrival at destination, what happens is, example, the same example I gave, this product gets into the customer warehouse, and the whole supply chain from India to the customer warehouse in the US is monitored by a data logger. So what happens is, this had to be maintained at around 2 to 3 degrees, the product. If it, example, if the in en route we don't properly manage this supply chain, the temperature is higher in en route, then what happens is, the shelf life of the product, for example, from the manufacturing time to the usage time, it's around 6 to 8 weeks. But if it is exposed, then they give you only 2 weeks. So by 2 weeks from the warehouse to the retail store to the operation table, it has to go in, or it's like disposed. So they manufacture it. So again, that's where the goods distribution practice comes in. So what they are able to sustain, or this thing is, how you are managing the entire process, how it is structured, and how you are giving the efficiency of the product. So basically it is about, the whole thing is about quality and integrity of the products from the time you manufacture till the time it is under the consumer. Any product, but this is very prominent in pharma industry.
No, what you have rightly touched upon is that the quality and the entire touch points of, or the GDP or GMP, because end of the day it's an end user, which is very process driven, I would say, and then it is probably have the qualification standards to meet for the consumers. Now tell me, sir, when we're talking about sustainability, right, there is so much of focus because when we work with a lot of airlines, international airlines, so they have a parameter, especially in the carbon emission, right? So they have the targets every year. So my question to you is that if in view of the Indian air cargo industry, so how it is actually adapting the global shift towards sustainability, especially the reducing the carbon emission?
So I think the sustainability slowly, it was just honestly a few years back, 5 years back, it was just more on a policy of most of the companies. But there are a lot of things from the sustainability, not only from the government, like we have 2% CSR to be done on a sustainability, like basic things governments have evolved. But also now all the corporate companies coming in are also looking at the offset mechanisms for carbon credit. So these are the things which are evolving in terms of sustainability. So now both the system in terms of government and also the private, there is a lot of push to get a credit. For example, they invest in India, so they're looking at how much this company can help the sustainability, not only the jobs, not only the tax, they're also looking at how these companies can bring in sustainability. Coming back to the industry, again, in terms of airlines are all looking at fuel efficient aircraft. When I started somewhere in 92-93 in Chennai airport, we used to handle DC-8, that's a Brazilian aircraft, which was like, so it has evolved, and now if you see the latest fuel efficient 777. So we have seen DC-8 to 737s to 747s to 800 to 787s to, I'm saying. So as if they evolve the fuel efficient aircraft, how they are able to align to the changes in the industries happening. So these are very important that these guys are also driving, because they are also having a sustainability goal, like how India is talking about, how every company is. I know a French company who was talking about 2030 within the organization sustainability, how much, and 50 will be net zero. All these are happening in the industry. So it's very important that it's just not only business now, it's also transforming that how these companies are building up, and then how they're able to pass it on back to the society, not environment, how it is all this thing, how fuel efficient, particularly the airports are changing. As you rightly said, multiple airports. Now these are moving into a lot of emissions, light things and all that, and then solar panel related. So there is a considerable shift from what it was and what is happening, because there is a large awareness both from the government and the private sector towards sustainability.
Yes, you mentioned it correctly when you're talking about the awareness, being as a part of the partners of the supply chain and logistics. Small steps towards logistics and supply chain, even though small. Now I can see the warehouses, right? So they're actually, brought in so many policies and process just to ensure the sustainable logistics in place. I can see airport, right? For example, Cochin Airport. You mentioned about the solar panels. So entirely is probably the first airport in India which has a solar panels. I can see the vehicles which moves on inside the apron area. Right? These are all electric vehicles. So I think the awareness is actually growing, and in future also this will definitely have a very greater step in terms of making sure that we are actually making an effort, conscious effort to make the logistics and supply chain sustainable. Thank you so much, Karthi sir. Now I'd like to move to Ilango sir. And my question to you is related to the quality assurance and the compliance, because that's a very important area that we need to touch upon. So my first question, and it's a very usual one that everybody can actually see. If I give an example, I always call this as the art of 10 minutes logistics, right? And this is nothing but connecting the last mile, right? So Swiggy, Zomato, they're always doing 10 minutes delivery and stuff like that on the app. My question in specific to you, if it is talking about the last mile connectivity or the quick logistics, right? Is it adding value to the supply chain ecosystem or dilutes the quality of the product delivery to the end customer? What according to you? What is your thoughts, sir?
Fantastic. It's like everybody said in the morning, logistics part and parcel of everybody's life in a day. So just to give you a brief background of myself, I've been in the industry for more than 27 years. I have come from the scratch. I have done the complete transportation and also into the warehousing. And like we all discussed, logistics has got two parts. One is to look at how to store and handle material, and second part is to how to fulfill the demand from the market. So this particular question comes from the second part of that question, how fast we will be able to fulfill the demand. So we all know today two things. One is the quality of service, how before it gets lapsed, the milk gets packed, and newspaper. These two things I can give you a very good example. We all get at 6 o'clock in the morning, but did we ever think about how it reaches? The last news reaches the news printer at 2 o'clock in the morning, and the paper gets printed. Same paper reaches everybody's door. The milk packet gets packed at 2 o'clock in the early morning. It reaches you every home at 6 o'clock in the morning. So there is a logistics behind that. There is a transport company which is tirelessly working towards picking up and delivering at each street, each door. So the entire chain system works. So when these evolves, the same thing getting replicated on your groceries, your market, the fulfillment, your home requirements, essentials, this Jepto and other companies have evolved. And it is going to grow. It is going to grow because everybody, life is around two things: how you effectively make use of your time. When somebody has got his time constraint, he looks at a watch and runs away without a food. Instead of that, on the go, he orders a food. The train stops at the next station, you get your food. And you book a Ola, you are sitting in a car, you are booking your food. Swiggy delivers at the next stop. So these are all the convenience. This has come from both technical as well as operational efficiency. I would say it is an industry, something which we should welcome, and it is going to grow further as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So this is, previously we used to go out to the market and get it. Now it is coming to us. So so much of startup ideas actually grown over the years, and hopefully there will be some more in the future one. So this is again that we would like to get some ideas, probably that can be better than Swiggy and Zomato, and that can still be developed. Sir, I just want to understand one more thing. When you're talking about regulatory and compliance and everything, in the international logistics, what, according to you, is the importance of maintaining the compliance and the regulations?
Fantastic. It's a very interesting question because each country has got their own trade practices. Each country has got their own culture. Each country limits their inbound, outbound through certain norms and product. This comes on two parameters. One is in terms of a regulatory affair. Second thing in terms of the product, what that can get into their market. So keeping that one, every global countries have defined what product they can allow inside the countries and to what. So this comes on different parameters. It comes on a financial aspect, it comes on the product category, or sometimes it comes on the quantity parameters as well. Take for example, today we all export coffee. And until 1980s, coffee was not exported. Coffee was restricted item. It was not allowed to export. Then government came out with the free sale quota and then diluted. And even today you could see the paper, sometime government restricts onion export. When the demand comes up in the market, they limit the onion export. So these are the regulatory affairs. As long as you are updated in the market and you are updated in what is happening across the globe, you will be able to do it better. Because the global, especially the global freight forwarding side of the logistics, it keeps you updated and it helps you manage the compliance part very well.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a very thoughtful insight in terms of that particular question. Now I'd like to go to Mr. Naveen, sir.
Thank you.
I know that you are a man of machines, so my next question is related to that. And it's a very basic question. I mean, probably the question from all the students that can actually ask, when we're talking about Internet of Things, when you're talking about artificial intelligence, when you talk about blockchain, right? And the purpose of all these attributes just to simplify the the logistics challenges and efficiencies on that. So how do you think the impact of this Internet of Things or artificial intelligence is simplifying the logistics pressure to across the different sectors and the touch points?
Yeah, I think so. The technologies that you mentioned obviously have far-reaching impact in several sectors, several industries. Logistics is one. In logistics, I would say if you take IoT, Internet of Things, it has always been, man talking to machine. The machine never spoke to each other, and that was a problem. For example, if you take a simple thing like visibility of a shipment, very, very basic.
for 25 years we have been reading that it is coming, end-to-end is coming, right? And then you define end-to-end, but it's still not there, right? It's still not there. So, one of the possibilities of IoT, and we are already starting to see, tenets of it. For example, the trucks that go now across India, there are companies that provide technology where the truck can be tracked through the GPS system and it's IoT enabled. They can see where the vehicle is, where the goods is at any point in time. Not only that, they can also, with the IoT, do the maintenance of the vehicle. They can say, hey, in the next 1 hour, this vehicle is going to go down, right? Take preventive action. So I think it is having a far-reaching impact than what we could even imagine, right? So if you take artificial intelligence, the other popular topic, I think predictive analytics is been a crystal ball. People have been predicting going to Jyotishas, right? Who can predict things. But I think we are getting technology there now. So, for example, if you take in my past company at DHL, we used to give out, for example, LCL quotes, right? LCL quotes to customers, spot quotes. Using AI, we were able to predict the success of the quotes. That's amazing. It's sales and marketing, but still directly into logistics. ETA, expected time of arrival, again crystal ball. Who can tell when something will arrive, right? Was anybody's guess. Now the accuracy of that has improved. So I think there are lots of startup ecosystems in India, in Chennai, at the IIT Research Park, in Bangalore, who are working around these technologies, specifically around IoT, AI, machine learning. So all these technologies, I think, will make the logistics operation smoother. I don't think it's going to replace the human beings. I think there is a bit of confusion there. How can I tell this? I think my gray hair and a few more gray hairs here, we can tell. We have seen technology, we have seen the starting of the internet, right? So I think it's not going to replace the human beings, but it's going to make our lives better and help us larger scale and scope.
Rightly, sir. When you're talking about this artificial intelligence and all this technology, it is made by someone, right? And when it is made by someone, it definitely has some kind of a limitation beyond which it cannot work, because that is how it has not been programmed. So I don't think so. What you rightly said, that it is not going to replace someone, but technology advancement is going to be there as and when that we progresses in the future. You mentioned about predictive analysis. My question to you is that what is the difference between a predictive analysis and data-driven decision making?
So I think two sides of the same coin. One is after the fact. One is you're doing it ahead of time. I think after the fact is equally important, because it's a feedback loop. When you're looking at machine learning, which is a big part of artificial intelligence, what you have is going to be learned by the machine, and it's going to use that to predict what is to come. So I wouldn't say one is either better than the other. So one happens, you do a lot of analysis, right? So yesterday we were discussing about corrective and preventive action when the proverbial shit hits the ceiling, right? Something doesn't happen, a process gets broken. There's a lot of data, and data these days is available in abundance. What is important is to identify relevant data. That is very, very important, because data analytics and data science has developed so much, and there is so much of data. You might be looking at stuff in the wrong area. That might not be any relevant. So you need to have a relevance to the data, and two, you need to have a context. I think those two attributes are extremely important. And then you need to also know, what are you looking for? What is it that you're looking for? Because I talk to many service providers with data analytics, right? And it's smoke and mirrors. So what is the problem it is solving? We need to understand what is the problem. right? We can say that, hey, I'm a data scientist, but and there is a data lake, and an ocean of data. So I think looking at the right data is important, and then looking at the context is important, and then the context. So these things are important. And predictive, I think, is more and more getting better because of our data analysis, because this is the feedback. You do more analysis, then it feeds into the machine, and then it's able to do better prediction. So I would say that's how they are tied up.
So this predictive analysis can still be done in all sectors of logistics, including, if I have to add something, that when you're talking about human psychology, can this predictive analysis or use of IoT can still be pulled into the human psychology, that how things are going to happen?
I think there is going to be a lot, right? So for example, I myself personal story, did a small startup about 10 years back like the 1mg, what is there in 1mg, right? So the idea at that time wasn't ripe enough, but what is possible now is, let's say you're putting all your health data into various apps, right? So because of the scale of data it is available, it could, we are looking at a stage where it will say, if you are a 50-year-old living in this part of the country with this kind of social life and health and everything, the chances of you getting this ailment is so much percentage, because now it's able to take all the 50-year-olds and able to do the prediction, and it can help us get better. So it is definitely going to impact, in my personal view, healthcare big time, because there is I think each one of us, our families have a huge impact on that, right? I was recently also using an Abbott device. I'm a diabetic, right? So nothing confidential here. So I was using an Abbott device for 2 weeks, right? It's a device that you put on your hand, and you can take your blood sugar levels every minute, right? It uses the NFC technology from your mobile. The beauty of that data was, it told me exactly what food item causes a spike in my body, instead of random, because the customization of medicine has not happened. Today you take a pill, it impacts your entire body. It doesn't target a specific part of your body, right? But technology is now able to do that. And I think it is pretty close. So I think predictive analytics is going to have a huge impact beyond logistics, which I believe is a given, but I would say healthcare is going to have a huge impact.
It reminds me something that, with finance and technology, we call it as fintech, right? With education and technology, we call it as edutech. So with medical things and technology, it can still be called as meditech. Yes. Yeah. So probably we're getting into those meditech concepts and using of the applications wide open. Thank you so much, sir. Ramesh sir, I'll come back to you now. And I have a very important question. Now, we all have been talking about the infra, we're talking about the regulatory compliance, we're talking about internal, everything is fine, right? But there is someone behind it. That's the most important part, who is actually creating or coming out with the solutions. My question to you is very specific in terms of, what does having the skilled workforce impact the efficiency of the overall logistics and supply chain, and how crucial it is to have a skilled workforce in the entire ecosystem?
Thank you, great question, and I will take back from the line you spoke on the ship repair. Okay, so the power of skilled workforce, it has a very direct impact on the productivity and efficacy of logistics. He gave an example of a ship technician charging some $20,000 or something like that. What it actually translates is the power of experience, expertise, or skill. I would like to elaborate, and due to the paucity of time, I would just give a few anecdotal examples. Last week, in fact, I work for the government of Tamil Nadu. We have a program called Nan Mudalvan, where we skill train. We are into very massive skilling. But I'd like to focus here on logistics. Last week we had the World Skills Competition in a place in France called Lyon. And it was represented by a logistic girl called Simone Grover from Delhi for freight forwarding. And she stuck a gold. Okay, these are like Olympics for skilling across, it is sector agnostic. You have culinary, you have embroidery, you have logistics, you have banking. So whatever stream you are in, at least let's focus now on logistics. Skill is something that once you acquire, it is there for life. The difference between education and skill. Education is again your mindset that comes, your knowledge, wisdom, okay, what you learn in college is all that you, of course you learn. Skill is through head, heart and hand. Once you acquire, like you're cycling, communication is a skill, okay? So all your driving, swimming, all the INGs are skilling. Once you acquire it, it stays with you for life. So in logistics, like in fact Mr. Karthi also said earlier that once you get into logistics, you need to acclimatize and sensitize yourself with a lot of terminologies in each of the subsectors, transportation, or if you get into export-import, you need to learn about bill of lading, custom clearance, HSN codes, etc. So once, and like what I told, do well what you do, okay, that will definitely take you higher up in life. And what I mean by do is skilling yourself, okay? And mind you, there are just 3 flows in logistics, like how you have the golden rule in accountancy. It is the material flow, the data or information flow, and the finance flow. And today it is all wrapped up or encapsulated technologically. Like I said, it's become faceless, contactless, digitized through various tools, techniques, like what my co-panelist said, your blockchain, AI, machine learning. So there is it's a huge, vast area. Skilling plays a very, very major role in anything and everything what you do. So freight forwarding could be one. And there are a lot of opportunities today, both at the blue collar and gray collar area. There's a huge dearth of workforce that is required as the airports, seaports, rails. Now you have faster trains like Vande Bharat. Tomorrow they would be leaving cargo trains like that, okay? And unlike various other states on sustainable modes of transportation, now we are getting into inland, waterways. Drones are going to come in another few years' time, right? Electric vehicles, first mile, mid mile, and last mile today. Because of sustainable goals, reduce pollution and increase, carbon neutrality. A lot of initiatives are there, and skilling is required in each and every space. I would like to quickly give you or ask you a question on the skills. Which is the most skilled country in the world? Can somebody take a guess? Which is the most skilled country in the world? Not US, not Japan, not Germany, not India. Anybody else? No, it is not China. Not Russia. Okay, it is Switzerland. Okay, if you take 100 normal human beings, they have 2 skills which no other country can match them. Okay, the 2 skills are, one is watchmaking. Which is the best watch you can think of globally? Swiss watches, Rolex, right? Rado. The other skill is chocolate making, Swiss chocolates. Okay, these skills are taught right from school at primary level. So when they grow big, these skills are, acquired for life. And there are no country that you can match them on the 2 skills. Similarly, which is the second skilled country? I'll just take a minute. Which is the second best skilled country in the world after Switzerland? Can somebody guess? India is a big example, but this is not India. It is South Korea. They also have two skills. Switzerland stands at 97% of skilled workforce for making chocolates and watches. South Korea is at 96%. They have two skills, and the skills are electronics and automobile. Who are the leaders in India for these two sectors? Okay, if you take electronics, it's Samsung, LG, South Koreans, right? Automotive, number one is Hyundai, Kia Motors. Okay, the country is it is slightly bigger than Tamil Nadu. Why I'm giving you this example is the skills what they carry. They've come to India and wiped out Ambassador and Fiat with their skill sets, given jobs to lakhs of people. Okay, in bringing out some of the world's best products. Thank you. I think I've given a fairly good example for skills. Thanks.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Because we have to complete in another half an hour. So I will just go one by one. I mean, this is an open question for all four of you. This is not a question, so I just wanted to understand if I have to make a statement, whether unlearning and learning or learn to unlearn. 2-3 lines, everybody. What is your thought on that? Which one is the correct one, or how are you going to think about it?
Could you repeat?
Unlearning and learning, or learn to unlearn.
Yeah, unless you do the second one, you will not be able to do the first one. So first you should start to learn, to unlearn. So then your cycle starts. You keep learning because like I said earlier, we start something, and today what we are today, we started with the operation, we get into some other function, we get into finance, we get into overall business management. Today, what we are today, it is simply because we have already learned, unlearned, and upgraded ourselves with the next cycle, the current scenario.
Thank you. Great insight. Ramesh sir.
Yeah, quickly, I have two examples for learning and unlearning. What I've unlearned is handling very large, logistics operations. We started with Excel sheet. Okay, we started with Tally actually. Yeah, so we started with Tally, then migrated to Excel, then we moved to SAP, right? We have unlearned all that now. Now moved into AI-driven tools, blockchain, okay? So this is the best example. Another example one of my co-panelists gave is today in touch of a button on the screen, they were mentioning about ETA, okay? Estimated time of arrival, be it Uber, Ola, for anything, any goods, any cargo, medicines, it is predictive and it has become so certain. You can know when you ordered, when you're going to get. But the thing is, it's all about cost to market, time to market, quality to market. Whereas with technology also ramping up, every logistic company tries its best to cut costs.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Naveen, sir, what is your insight on that?
Yeah, I'm not used to choosing from the options given from my school days. So it's option different one, right? So I would frame it as learn, unlearn, and relearn. I think that's the cycle that you have to go through. And if you are not going through that cycle, what sets in is called arrogance and staleness. And that starts the downfall. It doesn't matter what age it is, and this is an age-old kind of an approach. If I talk to my dad or if I talk to the younger generation, I think learn, unlearn, and relearn is how I would place them.
Thank you so much, Karthi sir.
This thing is learn, unlearn, because in my own career experience, as we grow, we start learning and then unlearning. But then we finish a cycle like what he said, relearning. The complete pattern of what we have learned is completely changed. Tech, all that what we have done is completely changed, and then we have started learning all over again. It's like a new career again all over. But still with our experience and skill, we were able to use that to a betterment. But learn and unlearn is the best way. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to just, sign it up like what Ms. Aarti had said. It is a journey, not a destination.
Yes. I was about to conclude that. With that, you stole my statement.
Sorry, I stole your words.
Right. So let us get into again the problem areas. So my question to Karthi sir, we were talking about sustainable logistics. We're talking about alternate modes, right? I just wanted to understand what are some of the successful sustainable logistics initiatives that other countries are actually doing it, and probably we should also be aiming and targeting those to incorporate for everyone's benefit.
Okay. First, to get back into that, basically, as we all see in
so quickly, we do not have much time.
Quickly, we have this Netherlands green logistics where they talk about low emission transportation inside the airport. Germany, there's a sustainable warehousing solution inside the low fuel efficient thing, what they're doing it. Singapore has got a smart logistics, which is also very this thing. Sweden has got an electrified transport thing, which is like how the entire supply chain and this thing is integrated. Japan is also about eco-friendly packaging. So there are multiple models which are available. And in fact, I have to be honest to tell you that these are all started coming into India, and a lot of multinationals and corporates and the airports are already bringing in. Seaports are quite behind in that model as of now, but at least there is a lot of initiative after the privatization of the airports on the sustainable solution. Yeah, thank you.
But what are the hindrances that we're actually facing to? If you know the best practice is already happening in outside India, so what are the hindrances for us to adopt those changes?
So there are 2 or 3 models. One is always about the cost, because when you get all into the sustainability practices and this thing, you also need, like for example, in the airport, solar. You need to put a complete solar to enlighten the entire airport, like the Cochin airport. So everything comes one with the cost. That's one. Second is also the infrastructure around us. Once we get these facilities, how the ecosystem is also, it's just not only airport does everything, the other guys just don't do anything. Like for example, you set up everything in the airport, you need to have a proper electricity, EV trucks to have it delivered. Again, that's at cost. The whole supply chain model within the logistics are also aligning to that. It's just not one area. It's a whole supply chain thing. Everything has to evolve as the infrastructure grows. So it's a kind of I cannot complain. I cannot just say government or anything. It's everybody's responsibility in the supply chain to bring this kind of discipline, and then it's also an investment. It's a high-end investment area also. It's not like you cannot do it like every smaller companies can do it. So it's a high-end investment, high entry barriers are there. A lot of government regulations are there. The rules have to be evolving from the government, initiatives by the government, subsidies by the government. All these are the part of the change. Yeah.
Understood, sir. Thank you so much. Ilango sir, I quickly touch upon to you. When we're talking about the warehousing, right? It's a very massive, complicated and complex operation. So in an warehouse environment, so what is the role of, if we're talking about an artificial intelligence and Internet of Things, so what are the roles that can be played, and what is the effect of that?
Fantastic. It's a very, very important question, I would say, because as I said earlier, logistics has got 2 segments. One is how to store and handle the products, and second thing is freight management, that is how to distribute or transport to the fulfillment. So this question comes around the very first part of the question: how do we store and how do we maintain the inventory in the warehouses? So earlier scenario was people used to call it as a godown. So they just stock it. And today's scenario is not that. Today, we as a business owners, we focus on few things. 2 areas where we wanted to do. One is cost efficiency. How do we bring in a cost control? Second thing is how the service improvement, how we can improve the service and fulfill our customers' requirement. This is in terms of the commercial aspect of the business. There are other 2 sides of the business. That is how to prevent the risk. That is how do we prevent a future risk in terms of compliance, or how do we secure our product and the assets of the customers. So the AI plays a vital role in all the 4 areas. Take for example, the first side, demand planning. Demand planning is fully supported by the AI. And second thing, inventory management. How accurate my inventory is inside the warehouse, because I am holding an inventory worth crores of my customers. So how do I maintain that? For that, what is the cycle count, what we do? All these things are supported by AI. And AI also not only supports maintenance of the inventory, but also prevents how a damage can be controlled, how it can prevent any future gaps in the inventory as well. Coming to the other side, AI supports in terms of security and surveillance of the warehouses. And it also supports in terms of the health, how the people handle the material in the warehouse. What are the likely possibility for the injuries for the people? How do we prevent that? So AI plays a very vital role in terms of the entire warehousing operation, I would say.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, my next question to Naveen, sir.
Can I just add a couple of points? I mean, youngsters, you would all agree. How many of you use e-commerce? Raise your hand. Thank you. Yeah, the thing is, AI today, if you order for black color, footwear, it'll ask you why not a gold or a brown or some other color. This is all driven by AI. Okay, and it can be a lipstick, it can be any apparel, accessory, or any product per se. So AI is going to play a very, very vital role in and it also generates humongous amount of data. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That's a very important perspective. Naveen, sir, my question to you, we're talking about the tracking, and just going to ask one question on the tracking. Everything is technology driven, so everything is on our hand. We exactly know when to start, where it is going to. We're talking about ETA. So what could be the future of tracking in the next coming times?
Yeah, I once did prediction 25 years back. It hasn't come true yet. So the hope is, this generation here, they will be able to shorten it in the next 5 years. That's the hope, right? And then I think that's the reason we are here, with that hope. That said, I think the way, while there is a human interface, there is also unreliability. Machines are much more reliable than human beings in doing monotonous tasks. And we have seen that in manufacturing and many other areas. So with the advent of machine talking to machine, the hope is the quality of data, the timeliness of data will be much more relevant. And that is the direction I see us moving. So that we don't have a human interface. Somebody said, oh, I forgot I was at a coffee shop, or instead of 2, I put an 8 there. These are all the things which all of us are familiar. At some point in lives, we have seen that. I think the hope is the machine talking to machine, and we just consuming the data. And I think that direction, I can see traces of it happening, but not in a end-to-end, because obviously end-to-end is a very broad area. That is one. The second is, what is the missing link in this? I think the missing link is, there are so many service providers, there are so many actors, so to say, in the network. How are these networks going to coordinatedly do it, right? I think blockchain gives some ray of hope, but over the last 5-10 years, large companies like IBM, Maersk have burned billions of dollars. So they have, kind of stepped away from that. But that said, I wouldn't completely write it off. I think we haven't cracked the code. So I think to answer your question, 2 things. The machine-to-machine talking will improve the accuracy and timeliness of data. And then as we build these pockets of network, call it blockchain, or perhaps some new technology is coming up, I think those will make the visibility much better.
I have a counter question to that. Now, when you're talking about machine-to-machine talking with each other, if they fails to talk, or if they don't talk at all, or there is a blockage where the communication interpretation is not happening, it is nothing but delays, system failures, and everything. We all know that if system fails, it is going to create delays, and the massive delay is going to cost money. So how to deal with that? I mean, how we are progressing with that, with the machines, with the artificial intelligence or the technology. If it fails, do we have that bandwidth to deal with those kind of situations?
I think that's a great question. I would answer it this way. I think supply chain resilience is a major topic, and it can be applied to technology as well, right? So recently we had an instance at DHL, exactly the same. All of a sudden, Russia was, became an embargo country, and we had to unplug Russia out of the network. But the entire company network was so strongly glued, how do you just remove one country out, right? So one of the things that is happening is in this whole world of cloud computing, as the cloud is growing, I think there will be private clouds, and we will have to incorporate resilience into our solutions, meaning there is A happening and reliability of A is very, very good. If A goes down, B needs to step up, right? And it needs to be a feedback loop, and those are definitely possible now. There is technology available. So I agree with you. Anytime a system goes down, there has to be some backup process, because we don't want the supply chain to stop. While there is a data stoppage or a system stoppage, we don't want the goods to stop. That's our intention at the end of the day. So I think taking supply chain resilience into every area of the supply chain, including the technology, is now possible, and I think that has to be looked through from the lens of resilience, business resilience, and I think that's where I think we would be going.
Thank you, sir. What you are talking about, BCP, nothing but the business continuity plan. So while technologies are important, there has to be always like a business continuity that should go. Right, I'll come to Karthi sir, to you. My question is, we're talking about the sustainable logistics, right? So can you please give us some kind of an example of the government initiatives in terms of the sustainable logistics? What government is actually doing to, get a sustainable logistics plans in place?
Perhaps I can kickstart and then.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. I think one of the things that has come up in the government frame is, if you look at the SEBI regulations, the BRSR is becoming a very important document. So it's a regulatory requirement. So every company has to now submit their ESG reporting through the BRSR. What has happened so far is people are looking at scope 1 and scope 2. If you look at sustainability, there is scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. Logistics falls in scope 3, right? So there has been, over the last 4-5 years, increased focus on scope 3 because it's controllable, it's in the factory. I think what is happening now is there is lot of work being done in the scope 3, which is where the entire logistics is done. And government is slowly starting to give indications of what can be done in the scope 3 so that the BRSR requirements can be taken care. Yeah, so.
Thank you. And then there is also a national green aviation policy, how the renewable energy and alternate energies are used for the aviation industry and also the airport. And also there is also a tax incentive and subsidy by the government for all this tech-based things at the airport. And there is also a greenfield airport initiatives, how the new airports are coming in and what are the requirements there. And as you rightly said, carbon offsetting, not only for airports, seaport, all that which are also aligned with this thing. And also the Make in India and Startup of India, all these programs have a lot of initiative towards sustainable thing. There are minimum requirements which are to be met by the companies, and there will be a lot of infrastructure support and the subsidies by the government. Yeah, thank you.
I have a point to make on the government. So we have very large initiatives like Bharatmala, Sagarmala, Udan programs, okay, which expands to multi-logistic for air, road, rail and sea. We have Kisan Rail, where we move, a lot of fruits, say from Theni to Delhi. There are 2,000 tons of bananas going, okay? So a lot of initiatives. So all these pertains to green logistics. Another important thing is, if you take warehouses today, some of the best warehouses are grade A plus types where it is LEED certified, okay? Where there is very, very minimalistic pollution, lot of renewable energy is used. I mean, they use hydrogen vehicles, EVs, it is all solar powered, no diesel, no petrol, no fossil fuel. So these are sustainable initiatives both taken in private and public sector. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'd like to put across to this forum one last question before we go to the students and ask questions, is that just a thought where we spoke about the automation, we spoke about the internet. Is it going to create a job loss in the industry?
Very good question, I would say, because it is everybody's mind, probably, because actually the automation, whatever we do, it's not going to remove the people. It is going to upgrade your knowledge and skill set to improve the efficiency of the overall operation. So it is not automation that is going to curtail opportunity for somebody. Up to the automation, that skill set need to be done. And again, the automation is being done on two areas. One is in terms of the planning before doing a job. Second thing in terms of executing a job. So automation helps us to upgrade ourselves in terms of planning so that the execution accuracy is absolutely clean and we are able to reach the time and cost.
So you have a very critical point here to make. Men or machine. So a country like India, I'd like to again quote an example. I had the opportunity to visit the Amazon warehouse at Seattle, US, and it is full of robotics, thousands of them. Okay, less of people, more of machines. Whereas in India, I had the opportunity to visit the same warehouse in Delhi, Hyderabad, Pune, and Chennai. More of people and least of machines. Okay, so here, a country like India, we are people intensive. Okay, so there will be a lot of jobs, but at the same time, it's a misnomer. There are jobs available, plenty of jobs across sector. There is demand, there is supply, but these are not being bridged. So I think, like morning we had a chat with the Vice Principal. He very rightly remarked that industry partnerships, both private and public, is the solution to create more jobs and use of less machines. Machines will be there. Technology again is cut across horizontally and vertically. So jobs are here to stay. People are here to get more jobs. Thank you.
Yeah, I would take a slightly different view. I don't think it's about whether humans are going to be continuously needed or automation has to be reduced. I think those are, for me, frivolous debates. I don't think they should be. If you have heard, Yuval Noah Harari, the Israeli historian and author, one of my favorites, and his vision towards this current AI. This is a revolutionary tech compared to any tech we have seen in the recent 100, 200 years, right? This is a revolutionary tech. What I see is happening is there will be an adjustment in the industry where we will get to a 4-day week, for example. It's a topic that's already been touched on. There will be enough time for more important things to life than what we currently do. I see automation playing a big part of the role there. What has not happened is organizations have not adjusted from the industrial era. The 8-hour work and 5 days work, those have not been adjusted yet. I think there has to be a massive adjustment, and I see it coming. Definitely in this decade, we are already talking about 4-day work weeks. It's there in the papers, some companies experimenting it. I see automation helping us with a better quality of life and not taking away jobs.
Thank you, sir.
With the way the industry is growing, and you also see multiple industries coming in, I don't think the jobs are here to stay. That's very clear. But it's important that the new age generation align to this tech, what's coming up, and then they stay relevant to what's happening in the industry. It makes sense. The jobs are here to stay. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's a good insight. Thank you so much. I think so far for the last 1.5 hours we're trying to address to the problem statements. So we are going to take a pause here, and we'll probably redirect to the students if there is any questions, any specific speaker, any question that you would like to ask. And also, Dr. Aarti Madam, YouTube, if there is any chat box question that has come, so you just let us know. Any questions from the students?
Good afternoon, sir. You have all talked about the job opportunity in the logistic industry. So regarding that, my question has 3 parts. So in order to get that job opportunity, people need some certain skills. So what is the skill gap that you are currently facing, in order to overcome that skill gap, from student point of view, what we should learn and what we should unlearn, and from the institution point of view, what they need to do some changes in the curriculums, or they should add some of them in the curriculum. So this is my question.
Brilliant. I think I'll take this. When you say skill gaps, at least pertaining to the youth, Tamil Nadu has a major demographic dividend. What it means is students from 18 years to almost 25-30 years. So the skill gaps currently, I am talking more on a law of average, taking the youth into consideration. Working for the government, we have received close to 3,000 crores for skilling about 1 lakh plus youth and giving it back to industry. And the gaps that we perceived are soft skills. There are dime a dozen institutions or training partners who skill train using words such as campus to corporates, soft skills, digital skills. So the government of Tamil Nadu has forayed into an initiative called the Finishing School. If you Google it, this is a westernized concept, also known as charm school globally in US and UK. What they do not teach you in schools and colleges is taught, like soft skills, etiquettes, mannerisms, communication skills, digital skills. It also includes certain skills like driving. Okay? So, which can make a youth industry ready and employable. So, like I even mentioned earlier, please brush all of you on the communicational skills, because in any interview you go, you're judged the way you speak, how confident you are, and please keep learning more and more on the stream that you're passionate of. And always think, in IT terminology there is something called as is to be. As is one, to be is where you want to be. So you have your age now. What is the sector that you want to stream? Maybe select a few, because another thing I would like to definitely emphasize, what we academically, what we study and where we reach on jobs are two different things. Okay, if it happens, it happens. And off late, another thing is, so I think I've answered your question on the skill gaps, communication, confidence, and learn as many things, especially technology. The rate of obsolescence is so high. Like few days back, ChatGPT came. Now it's gone, AI is coming. So you need to unlearn, learn, and it is a continuous process. Maintain your curiosity to learn. Thank you.
Yeah, just to add, one more thing. I would also, suggest to think through, because each one are individual adults now, is look at first 3 years of your career as an investment and not as a return. Because that's a massive problem I see interacting with a lot of youth around the college. They think that they have invested 22 years of their life and they are in a rush for returns. I would suggest, because we all did the investments, although we don't call it that way, we didn't know how to package it. I would say, look at the first 3 years as an investment where you experiment with yourself. Because I don't believe that you start planning things based on theoretical knowledge. If you get into the industry, low salary, industry doesn't matter, and learn and then find your calling, you will find, hey, this one is interesting for me. That's one suggestion I will leave it with you.
See, another trend that we notice on the placement, because I keep visiting several campuses, meet several placement officers. One trend that we see, what was never there 10, 15 years ago, is getting a job for us in our age was a prime thing, and we would like to get that job and succeed. Here today, the number of opportunities that's thrown up for youth is very many. So even large companies, like, Jaguar Land Rover, Ola, Crocs. The guys who come from various, academic background, engineering, MBAs and UGCs or even diploma holders, they have 2 to 3 job offers on hand. My sincere request to all of you is, do not, of course, please discuss it with your parents, your friends, but you're the ultimate decider. Okay? Whichever job you feel is going to suit for you, take that. You should be your influencer. Don't be influenced by external. Of course, I'm not applying this rule to your parents. You take a call, stick to it, because the attritions today in certain sectors are extremely high. So you decide, stick to it, and don't be influenced by your peer pressure. Thank you.
Just to answer your question, just to add 1 more minute to this, when you're talking about the university, right, you have been so fortunate to, study in this kind of university and places where they are bringing the industry to you in front of you. When we studied earlier, so we had no clue we had a clue for theory, but we had no clue where is the practical and what is going to be the real world would be. So at least the industry, the university has that exposure to bring the industry together, face in front of you, and then you can ask questions, understand, get kind of a sense that what is it is going to look like. Number 2, you're talking about a skill gap. What Ramesh sir also said, it is very difficult for us to, quantify whether you need 1, 2, 3. There could be, again, a trend of skills that is must for the industries. But then, if you are going to an internship for any of the companies, right, it is up to you which skill that you would like to adopt. There could be skills like operations, there are so many skills. There are, sales and marketing, that's a skill. Invoicing, finance, there is a skill. You can do a lot of things, technical skills. You're talking about, special trainings like dangerous goods and live animals and load controls and all, those are all, again, a skill. So it is up to you which skill that motivates you and you can adopt, incorporate and execute. I hope that answers your question.
Last but not the least, okay, since he was mentioning specialized skills, today what the industry wants is the basic fundamentals. Okay, if you join DHL, FedEx, any MNCs or Indian, conglomerates in logistics, they would impart through learning management systems. Big, medium, small company, there are a lot of open source learning tools, techniques available. Stream-wise, okay, they may give you the offer letter and put you on an induction where you need to learn, unlearn so many things. It has become like a multi-speciality hospital in logistics too, okay, depending upon the stream that you take. It could be dangerous goods, it could be transportation, it could be warehousing, and even in warehousing you have fulfillment centers, dark warehouses, so many new concept that is emerging. So the thing is, ensure that your fundamental and basics, communication skills and confidence is there. Please polish it every day, and that will, make you rise and shine. Thank you.
Just to add further, along with all the panelists suggested, logistics is everyday learning. So even if you get a job, it's not the end. And because the sector evolves, the sector what you are going to handle tomorrow, logistics of medical sector may not be same as that of FMCG, the e-commerce what you are doing. So there is an enormous opportunity for you to keep on learning in logistics. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new day. So, and logistics has got that much potential, will never make you tired of, I have learned everything. Even today we have got something new coming up. We are trying to learn what is new today, like unlearn and learn. Yeah?
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
So yeah, my name is Kavi Arisa, sir, and I'm doing economics second year. So you mentioned about data and we have tons of data through which we are good in prediction, let's say in the medical field. But my question is, do you think it's possible in the financial field? Let's take stock market. We have the tons of data, but still we'll fail to get the predictions in the stock market. What do you think? Like in future, is it possible with the AI to get the accurate prediction in the market?
I sure hope not, yeah, because we have enough manipulators in the market already, which scares the hell out of all of us here. I'm sure you too. See, I think where the artificial intelligence is going is, you need to look at the trajectory. Is it going to be subsequent to the human brain or not? I think that's the greater question to ask, because when a market forces act, it is so many human brains in action. It's so many human brains in action. I think when we crack that, and hopefully we don't, right? But the chances are, we may, right? We are getting close to that, and that's a scary thought. I think that would be the answer, is whenever we are able to, technology being our slave, when we become the slave of technology, that will happen. But then you also have to look at the social implications. When we are slave to technology, then there will not be any need for money. It's going to tell how much you will need also. So why are we going to scam the stock market, right? So I would say that would be my thought.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
No women logisticians? I see enough girls here.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. I'm Varsha Mirimbiju, doing my third year Bachelor of Commerce. My question is, what strategies can companies use in order to balance the traditional brick and mortar logistics with the growing e-commerce demand that we have today?
Looks like it came straight out of a McKinsey report or something like that. when the word strategy is used, right, I'm scared usually. That's a very loaded question, and I don't think there is a simple answer. Let me start off. I'm sure my fellow panelists have that. See, what is changing is an enhancement of the process alone. Right? Because the soap that I was using 50 years back is the same soap I use today. And it has to be still transported from point A to point B. You can call it e-commerce, you can call it quick commerce, you can call it anything you want. So there is a process chain that is continuously happening. So, many people, I remember way back in 98 in the US, we were talking about Amazon will be only a click and mortar company, only a click company, right? Since then, what has Amazon become? They have become a brick and mortar as well, without fulfilling centers. They are an NVOCC by themselves. They own ships now. They also have planes, right? So what started as a pure play click and use internet company now also uses brick and mortar. Because at the end of the day, what we are consuming needs storage, right? So all of that is still needed. So to answer your question, I don't think it's about brick and mortar versus click and internet kind of thing. I think it's the click and mortar is the combination that will continue to move forward unless one fine day we say we don't need to eat food, one pill is good enough for a month. I hope I don't survive till then. But that would be my answer.
See, I was managing the largest retail, brick and mortar logistics, all your Big Bazaar, Pantaloon, Hometown, Brand Factory, Central, Nilgiris. So both are here to stay, to answer your question. I mean, there are strategies. What we've learned is, we had the heydays, okay, Future Group, before Amazon, Flipkart came into existence. Okay, our profitability was very good. We didn't anticipate e-commerce to hit us so badly that we lost our market share, and the entire company was sold to Reliance, who are the leaders today in brick and mortar. And they still thrive. The turnover of brick and mortar Reliance alone is 221 crores. Okay, yesterday I had a VC with them. They need 12,000 people only in Tamil Nadu. So both are here to stay. And there are trends that you can see. I mean, as a youngster, of which I also do, see online, buy offline. Okay, and vice versa. I go to malls, put the footwear or jewelry or lipstick, then check out for the rates online. So both a country like India will flourish. I hope I've answered your question. So you can use your strategies in both. Thank you.
That's a good strategy. Huh? Check online, buy offline. Okay.
There's another girl, I think, somewhere here who was trying to ask. Yes, please.
So, good afternoon, panel. Myself, Jonah. I'm from 3rd BCom. My question is based on sustainability. May I know, how logistic companies balance the need of efficient transportation with the goal of reducing environmental impact?
Good question.
See, I was reading an article yesterday, North Vietnam, Bangladesh. They are suffering huge time delays and loss because of floods. I don't know how many of you have read. It has completely disrupted the supply chain and logistics and environment today. Or take this week, 2 days back, highest consumption of electricity as per Tangetco. The highest last year was in June, but 2-3 days back, 40 degrees in Madurai. Okay? The use of air conditioning, fan, another 2-3 years, I think it will be outdated. So environmental today is a very, very not lightly taken thing, but it is going to impact India and the world over. Especially there are strong warnings coming in for coastal areas. And even if you take Chennai, the storm water drains, it is an outcome anticipating environmental changes that we have already learned during tropical storms, So drought, floods will be the norm. You don't know where, expect the unexpected. So we need to give a lot of impetus and factors, not only in logistics, but across industries, and promote, like what Mr. Karthi said, carbon neutrality, circularity. So get into non-polluting modes of transportation. So it is just emerged, but we have not even scratched the surface as yet.
Yeah, let me throw a question back at you, right? It's easy to question, any of the emerging technologies. So you're going to Amazon, right? You're ordering your favorite T-shirt, right? And there are two options given to you. One is, you have a free delivery. The second option, fast delivery, you pay me $10. And third is, extra, $5 for green logistics. Which one would you choose?
I would obviously go for free delivery.
Exactly. So there lies the answer. So that is a big problem. While we can all talk about sustainability and green and everything, takkali 10 ruwa abdin sonna odne kodi thooki nippom. Right? Who is going to pay for sustainability? I think I would leave this thought with all youngsters here. While everybody seems to be, recognizing the problem, the solution is with us. If we leave it to the corporates and the government, it will never happen. And we know this. We know this for, decades together. So the answer is in the question itself. What would you do? I think is the consumer behavior. We need to see that changing as well.
Okay, good. Let me add few practical things what is happening in the industry today in terms of sustainability, especially in contract business. Nowadays, all warehouses, they start using transparent sheets in the warehouse. So light is reduced, electricity consumption is reduced. Second thing is we also use the roof panels as a solar panels. On the top of that, we put a solar panels where power generation happens. And all restrooms everywhere, we use waterless urinals. So that saves the water. And also the package or emissions, we also look at how recycle can happen, because that is another industry which is evolving today. Because the package, it gets into the another package, another usage, another mode of usage, so that recycling happens. These are the ways, small ways where the industry is trying to make use of available resources so that they eliminate wastages and also support sustainability.
Any other question? Yes, at the back. Yeah.
That's the girl power.
Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Sharon. One question I have, what would be one solid advice that you could give young entrepreneurs entering into the sector?
There are entrepreneurs here, right? I come from a mentoring perspective. I'm a failed entrepreneur. So I would say take a jump. Take a jump would be the first step, right? Because, what has, stopped me from retrying is this fear of failure. Fear of failure. Mm-hmm. If you can overcome the fear of failure, you will succeed. Right, and over the years, I'm 50 years old, right? So over the years, you do the mathematics and the commerce and the finance and everything, right? It doesn't add up. And entrepreneurial is a journey of faith. And over the years, I've seen many entrepreneurs succeed in that because they are passionate about what they want to do and they get started. Because I've seen, entrepreneurs who succeed have also failed before. Right? And I will give to Ilango because I think he's very qualified to answer that.
Yeah, it's a good question, and especially from a person like from corporate, where I've been an employee, then being as an employer, they will change. So probably at your age, two things are important. One is the guts, what you have in the mind, where your heart is closer to that. So you have to choose a field which gives you the satisfaction in terms of doing a job, not exactly looking at the money return. So that is one thing which you do. So take for example, when I took a decision after settling my family to a safe zone in terms of money, and then looking at how I can do something, give back to the society, how I can create more employment, how I can start creating some knowledge transfer to the people. That's how I moved into the job. So second aspect, everybody has got a constraint. How are we going to manage our money for the investment? But if you really ask me, in today's scenario, lot of companies are investing in terms of the startups. So money is not the real constraint for a startup as long as you've got the right idea to get launched and a commitment to succeed it. Commitment to succeed in the sense there will be roadblocks, there will be challenges. It's not going to be a cakewalk just like that. To reach the goal, how much are you passionate, how much are you committed in terms of driving your objective? These are the few things which you need to have. In my opinion, there are enormous opportunities in logistics. Either you invest or you want to do a service or you want, like I said, even scrap recycling. It's part and parcel of the logistics. Giving a BPO, like overseas customers who are sitting here, just with a laptop you operate for somebody in terms of managing their procurement process. That is also logistics. So there are a number of ways and means where you can become an entrepreneur. It's only the commitment and the right idea that has to come into your mind. Did I answer your question?
Great advice, sir. Thank you.
One psychological thought for you to take away. People are supposed to throw stones at you. It is up to you to throw the stone back to them or build your own building on that. So the thought to you.
I would like to add, one key thing. One is, co-panelist said faith. And money is available aplenty. And today, world over and in India and in Tamil Nadu, every government is they've commenced startup incubation cells, okay? And there are enough private equity partners to give you funding. Funding is not the problem, but you can be a non-tech student, but embrace, adapt technology in whatever startup entrepreneurial journey that you are into. Keep your eyes, ears open on the technology front, and the user friendliness that you give it to your consumer or your client will be a force multiplier in paying you back your return on investment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah,
Thank you.
does.
Any
Thank
further
you.
questions? Yes. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. I'm Kadambari. I'm from the mathematics department. I have a question specifically directed to you, sir, because you had mentioned earlier about 4-day weekdays and such. This revolution seems to be mostly happening in like specific sectors of business, right? As someone who used to work in the service sector, there are still employers still have only 6. They don't even get their weekends off. They have 6-day weekdays. Do you think that this revolution will slowly come to occur, this like AI revolution will also come to occur within the service sector and the logistics of the service sector? And do you think it's something worth looking into and expanding on? Because I know that the human touch in the service sector is like incredibly important. Do you think it's worth putting in the time and effort to look for solutions and better ways to implement logistics in those specific sectors as well?
I think, two-part answer. One, do I believe this will come? I think it will. I think it's a matter of time, right? Because, let's say, certain sectors, let's say, service sectors like, let's say finance and all these things where you don't need to have a, human interface. These are all becoming 4-day week. Let's assume, they are happening in the next 10 years. So, that puts a pressure on the other sectors as well. So, if my wife is in one of those sectors and if I'm going to office for next 2 days, what's going to happen? There'll be huge social implications. I think there will be adjustments that will come along. There will be a lot of adjustments that will come along. Reminds me of the joke that a meme from, from LinkedIn, right? Where a woman saying, I'm a writer, but I don't want AI to do my writing, but I want to do my dishes so that I can do more writing, right? So I think that's the, that's the catch-22. But eventually, I think the service sector will come along. We have a large population. If we even do 4 days, we can have 2 sets of people doing 4 days and another 2 sets doing another 4 days. So I think the industry need to be open in order to adapt. I think that is where the change will come. But do I believe? I strongly believe it will. I think it's just a matter of time.
I'd like to add one more thing. See, if you look at especially the metropolitan cities and tier 2 cities, when we say industry, okay, you have services and manufacturing. In India, service sector has outgrown manufacturing and we are at 54%. What it means is new corridors are being opened. I guess you guys would have taken a drive down this IT corridor called OMR. Okay? There are not single manufacturing company. Those are all completely service-oriented companies. All the high-rise buildings that you see in Gurgaon, Mumbai, Navi Mumbai are all service sectors. Post-COVID, like how the virtual conferencing, the Zoom meeting, the Google meeting have evolved, this 4 days concept is on the threshold which will hit us soon. It's just a question of time for us to adapt to artificial intelligence tools and techniques. Once we do that, we will get into this 4 days threshold. It is just about to happen, matter of time.
I think Mr. Ilango has something to say.
Just to add further, you might have heard about or read about Industry 4.0, which talks about digitalize, automate, innovate. So when they do that, they are going to bring in efficiency in terms of the overall this one. Whereas the supply source in terms of the people, like Panelist said, so it's very high. So obviously, as in terms of managing both cost and operation, the organization will evolve towards reducing the work time, giving opportunity for more people. So this is likely to come, it will come. Let's say.
Okay, so before concluding the session, I just want to confirm or probably mention 3 problem statements for each of the segments that we spoke about. So the first, statement that we have is infrastructure and the congestion, infra and congestion. So what do you think the problem statement could be here?
See, infra, like we discussed about 2 areas. Logistics concentrate on storage and distribution. In terms of storage, government has come out with the logistic policy where they define how a warehouse should be done and where it can be located. And recent time, Tamil Nadu government has also included warehousing and contracting also as a part of industry. Earlier it was not part of industry, now government has considered warehousing also part of industry sector. So having said, they have also defined what what structure industry should have, that is warehouse should have, what is the height, what is the infrastructure, what is the building, all that is required. To support this further, the locations, because the location, I'm part of the Tamil Nadu Logistics Council as well, where they regularly discuss what is the road infrastructure we need to connect, which area to be allocated for which sort of industry, where orange, green, so that the politically, that pollution-wise it can be distributed, where it can be dangerous areas, or red zone have to be this one. So all that is happening in terms of infrastructure in contra logistics. Coming to the transportation or distribution, they are also evolving, like you said, the rail transportation, how far we can maximize the tonnages, where we can reduce carbon and move further. And in terms of city distribution, they are putting a lot of regulations where the green energy can be used in green EV vehicle or NG gas vehicles, all that can be used. So a lot of things are coming up in terms of domestic. Probably I will leave it with my colleagues in terms of how this gets in the international freight business side.
So the problem statement on infra, I would request MCC to buy a volume of book called India Transportation till 2032. I bought it, it cost me 27,000 rupees. And all the metro rail that you see across cities in India, these were planned 12 years ago to beat the congestion. If you go to Punamalli High Road, you would have seen it unbuilt. So these are all much planned on multimodal logistics for both passenger and cargo. So it clearly gives a roadmap to move out of congestions and enhance the infra. If you look at Bombay today, there's a huge paucity of space. It is going vertical. Okay? And new concepts called hyperlocal delivery, dark warehouses. You need smaller space where time is money, space is money, technology is money. It is all, there's so much of pressure on costs, which he gave a wonderful example of takali or tomato. Okay, so there is so much of cost pressure in logistics, and there are a lot of innovation and creativity happening. This is bound to go, but there is so much of adaptability that is yet to be felt. It will be youth, the youngsters, who will be the torchbearer to implement that. Thank you.
In terms of airport, like as Mr. Ramesh said, multiple airports have helped in terms of infrastructure. Particularly earlier, we had only Chennai and Coimbatore and Trichy, the maximum in Tamil Nadu. Similarly, all the other states also are looking at new airports. That is one on the airport side on the infra. Second one on the seaport also, if you see, earlier we had only Chennai as a major, then Tuticorin was there. There's a Karaikal port. So there is a upfront lot of Pondicherries also come up. Similarly in Andhra, multiple Krishnapatnam and all that. So on the west coast, there are multiple airports. So what happens is infra as a government push is also looking at decongesting the existing area. That is one of the things we spoke is how to decongest road. So government was pushing for private trains. I'm talking purely on the cargo side. Corridors. East, west, the south, this thing corridors, they are pushing on the rail and all that. Similarly, the Sagar Mela, what Mr. Ramesh explained about moving the cargo from, example, Mundra to Tuticorin by sea, the coastal ones, inland waterways. So they're looking at multi-modal facilities as we evolve. So these are very, very prime to decongest the main areas of, like every city when you enter, you see so many trucks standing in there. So they're looking at rail is one, coastal is one. So multimodal will definitely play a major role in this infra in terms of cargo and logistics.
Thank you. Let's go to the next area which is talking about sustainable logistics and alternatives. I'd like to say a problem statement for this particular area. What could be a problem statement in this area?
Sustainable is basically the carbon emission, because that is a major criteria for the government as well as the private. And as he rightly said, for every individual, you pick up a green thing. So it starts from every individual, every home. That's very, very basic of this thing. And then how we look at this alternate things as we evolve is very, very critical for because this is going to impact the entire environment for us and the future generation. So very, very critical. All these sustainable things are maintained in each supply chain, and logistics is a very priority now. Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I would say when it comes to sustainable alternatives, I think everything is in scope. There is nothing not in scope, right? Whether it is your inbound to manufacturing, because there is a lot of things that comes inbound into manufacturing. You have to look at that supply chain. How does the supplier work? What do they do in that space? I think you need to connect the dots all the way from the source and all the way till the delivery, right? So if you map out, there are definitely in every area, there are areas where you can have an alternate sustainable solution. Yes, as I said, honestly, there are cost implications, but I think that's a bigger problem, and I don't think subsidy is a solution for that. I think it's more of a societal problem. But that said, I think the problem statement can start from the inbound to manufacturing all the way to delivery to the customer. If you map out, then every area there are things that can be done in a sustainable way.
I'm putting the same thing what he said into first mile, mid mile, and last mile. Okay, in logistic parlance. So you need to slice it and dice it differently, and there are humongous opportunities for startup to take, when I say first mile, mid mile, or last mile delivery, especially the costs are escalating. If you look at the number of reverse logistics, I mean your returns today that you give, I buy this, I don't like this color of the shirt, watch, whatever, you return it. This, so the thing is, cost escalations are there, and there are plenty of opportunity for both becoming a startup or an entrepreneur or a gainful employment, and the entire spectrum is changing. It's on a transformation. So there are innumerable problem statements and solutions also that is available. So I think it is evolving. You need to pivot, otherwise we will perish. Yeah.
See, in my opinion, sustainability is a problem not for logistics alone. It is a human problem. Each one of us have to think about it. How we are going to pass on this earth green to our future generation. Keeping that in mind, if you all think about how we can do it efficiently, that itself will bring us a lot of result in that. So that is one word from my end.
Thank you so much, sir. So one problem statement starting from you, on the topic called regulation and compliance.
Yes, in logistics. Okay, so good. As you know, regulation, it is related to both social structure and the people culture, what it provides. So from logistic point of view, logistics as a business or as an operation, it is moving goods from one location to other location. So, but on the other hand, it also to follow through certain guideline in order to meet the social. Take for example, we are moving goods, but we are not expected to move goods which are restricted. So we are supposed to move the goods in the, within the regulatory affairs. So from compliance point of view, the regulatory thinks what is banned goods that need not be stored and how it has to be handled or how it has to be stored. Like we discussed about GDP, that pharma products, how it has to be handled without any, within temperature control, what is required to be made, and so that it reaches the consumer point at the right quality. So these are all the few areas, in my opinion, which is critical for the logistics. So we'll continue to focus on that. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I would, I would also suggest, people who are looking at innovation in the area, which is the worst country in terms of customs clearance? Any guesses? Yeah, I would say anywhere between Brazil and Russia. Take a look at that. I would say, take a look at what happens. And which is the best country? I would say two, Singapore and Hong Kong, right? What do they do really well? I think that gives you a picture of where we stand as a country and what are the opportunities, right? What are the opportunities that are available in terms of regulatory and compliance and customs and that whole area. So look at the best and the worst, and we are somewhere in the middle. and we are moving towards the best. So that gives a lot of ideas towards innovation.
In terms of logistics, in terms of regulation and compliance, actually, if you see last 10-15 years, it's evolving in India. And one best part of logistics and supply chain is all industries. You take automotive, you take aerospace, you take electronics, you take pharma. Everybody needs a supply chain and a logistics. So you're not restricted to one industry, just a basic one. In terms of regulation, the national logistic policies, and every state has been building a lot of policies now in terms of logistics. But as I said, it's evolving as we go. And also we see a lot of multinationals, the investments coming in. Their basic thing of efficiency comes from how they manage. One is on the compliance side, security, compliances, those are the areas. And also the regulatory things, it's actually evolving, like how the government is structuring it, like as he spoke about customs, there are a lot of restricted items, how it has to be handled, how the team is trained. So these are the efficiencies, these are very, very important criteria and the supply chain, because this will bring, like he spoke about Zomato, the shortest delivery you have, what it was and how it is. So evolving with the technology, all these are aligned. I'm confident. I think this will definitely evolve into a very, very large industry as we are seeing. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please watch this term carefully called China +1 strategy. Okay, we've had a wonderful factory called Ford in Maraimalai Nagar, which was closed. You know why? Because we didn't have semiconductor. Now, in the recent visit of Honorable CM, he's revived back, and India is pitched as one of the largest nations in creating semiconductor. So, actually, we've flipped from the problem statement to a solution mode now. So, we require young, skilled workforce to work in this sector, semiconductor. So these are all, each of the panelists said it's evolving, right? So China +1 strategy is people, including US, UK, are looking at an alternative partner for both manufacturing and service sector. India to play. In fact, I think the next week, our Honorable PM is visiting US. And we are trying to make India better and best place for ease of doing business. And Sharmila ma'am also said we are in 38th position in logistics index, am I right? We'll be moving a few notches up because free trade policies, okay? These are humongous opportunities in multimodal logistics where there's ample opportunity for youngsters like you to really thrive. So these are the things that you need to look for: innovation and sustainability in logistics. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Last one is the tracking and management.
Let me kick it off, right? Tracking and management, one term, please take a note, ULIP. And this is not the industry, insurance industry ULIP, right? It's a protocol developed by as part of the National Logistics Plan, and it is amazing. What ULIP is expected to do is what UPI has done for financial transactions. So in terms of visibility, there's a lot of material, there's a lot of possibilities. It's not fully in shape and fully not deployed yet. So a lot of possibilities there. The other term I will throw is IceGate, which is the Indian customs system. There's a lot of innovations that are possible there as well. So you look at the ecosystem that is that the frameworks that are available, and I think a lot of tracking and management. And we also discussed about IoT. There's an organization called NSDL. It's a data management organization established by the government of India in collaboration with Mitsubishi of Japan, I think, where the entire cargo, particularly containerized cargo, data will be available in their repository. So look at these places. I think tracking and management definitely has huge potential.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just giving you the acronym for ULIP, Unified Logistic interface portal or internet portal. Okay, is the word. Interface portal. So this is, I'll give you an example. These are multiple layers that is created both by the government of India, state governments and private sectors. What it means is to make logistics more efficient. Okay? Smallest example which was given in Delhi, I'm just quoting it here. When you're traveling in the road, okay, there are so many pits that is dug across, right? They lay the road. There are, pits for putting some wire or drainage. These things will be simulated and ensured that the road is not dug. So layer by layer in ULIP policy, okay, I'm just giving you an example for road. Same thing is going to happen for inland waterways, airways, roadways, seaways, which means it is a total, all the departments from electricity to road to air, road, rail, sea, working in tandem, bringing in a lot of synergies, anticipating problems and finding solutions before, to ensure that logistics for both people and cargo is seamless, cost effective, time effective and with quality. This is what is going to be the norm in future. Yeah, and it's going to be sustainable, it's going to be innovative, and there are a lot of other alternative modes of transportation which is in the offing, like drones. Nobody asked for drones. People spoke on data analytics. Drones is also being looked at. There are about nearly less than 60 companies who have registered. But both Government of India and state governments fear launching drones for delivery. It is, I had used it in US where they give 40% discount, highest discount for using drones because of carbon emission. Here in India, it is far-fetched for the fear that drones could be used for narcotics or for money laundering. So government is scared, and hence drones can be used for internal ecosystems, for airports, for seaports, for transportation of emergency components, transportation of documents, for surveillance, and for crop protection in agri, for cleaning, solar panels, large vast of land where, it can replace human labor. So then there are, at least from Mumbai to Ahmedabad, Reliance is planning for, what is that thing called? Tube. Okay, Hyperloop. Ladies and gentlemen, the third prize was won by IIT Madras. It was evaluated by Elon Musk in Los Angeles. DHL and was the logistic partner to move this prototype from IIT Madras to Los Angeles, and we got third. So these are newer forms of very cost-effective, environmental effective transportation that is yet to come, and change is the new norm. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe just to add on the drones, right? So drones are in use in logistics for almost more than 10 years now. They're used in disaster logistics. DHL is one of the first companies in the world as partner of United Nations. We have been using in disaster areas when there is an earthquake and when there is all these disaster areas happening. Drones have been, there is universal approval given to that. It's used in military quite extensively, again for logistics purposes, because we don't think military and logistics, but it's an organization as well. So drones are extensively used. I think the commercial usage has some hoops to go through but they are already used. If you look at some Google stuff for disaster logistics, drones are extensively used for medical deliveries and food delivery, and all these things are extensively used already.
Thank you so much. So with that note, we are going to conclude the session. I'd like to thank each and everybody of you to listen to us very patiently. You can connect with us on LinkedIn. TT Skill is also a page which is available on LinkedIn. You can follow to get a latest update. And we will be looking forward to interact with you soon during this journey of the next 3 months. Thank you so much. Photograph? Okay. I'm going to take a photograph. Let's keep this. Yes. Is it done? Okay. Logistics issue. Koja sir, just take one photo on the photo. Alternate logistics solution, sir. Alternate mode. Plan B activated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. She wants to take one. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I thank all the panelists for the interactive and knowledgeable session. Once again, can we give him a big round of applause? As we come to the end of our program, it's important to take a moment to express a gratitude to those who made this event possible. Now, I call upon Dr. Sharmila Stanley to deliver the vote of thanks.
Okay, I think we really had a very engaging time. Every word that was spoken here have added knowledge to each and every one of us present here in this group. And it was so valuable, be it in terms of terminologies that you spoke here, the processes, the functions, the systems, or the challenges, the expectations, whatever, it has all added value and it has thrown new perspective and new insights. So as we see that, logistics has actually evolved so much over the years, probably dating back to history, to human civilization. Right from that time, it has evolved in such a way that in 18th century only this word came into place. But now the amount of progression that has happened in this particular field is really mind-boggling, right? What with all the Industry 4.0 revolution, where digital revolution has taken place and taken logistics to a greater heights with robotics, automation, right, and AI, data analytics. So it has gone to a degree, a certain extent. But along with that, even I would say that 5.0, which is more human-centric, right, because behind every technology there is a human being. And already as some questions have been raised, right, we see that along with sustainability, we should also talk about ethical supply chain management, because there is a human being in place doing, working out all this, making all this magic happen. And so it's time for us, to translate our words of gratitude, feelings of gratitude into words. So I wish to thank a few people. before we can actually proceed. So first and foremost, my thanks to our Almighty Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving us such a good opportunity, and also for making Madras Christian College a well-watered garden whose waters never fail. And we have been very grateful to God in all the blessings that we receive from Him. And secondly, I wish to thank and acknowledge the team of TT Group who met with us. It was a very small gathering. Mr. Govindarajan, CFO TT Group, Mr. Sridhar, the project director, Mr. John Tangaraj, the faculty of TT Skills, and Mr. Debajyoti Bakchi. So when they met with us, probably we didn't have an idea it is going to be, at such grand scale. It was a small talk that we had about logistics hackathon, but the way this hackathon is evolving itself, and the way you participated, the way so much of intellect and knowledge has already been transpired in this room. So we are very grateful to the small team who came to us and who wanted to take this forward. So we are very grateful to that team, and we appreciate their efforts. And next up, I'd like to thank our principal, who has always been a visionary and a dynamic leader and a constant pillar of support to us in all the efforts. And I also wish to thank our bursar for all the financial support. Our gratitude to the speakers of the day, esteemed panelists. They really deserve a great round of applause. Can we all give a big round of applause? Right? Such dearth of knowledge, right? Whatever we experience today, I'm doubtful where we will get it again, right? Because we are able to have all of them together. Probably 175 years of experience and knowledge being shared in such a short time. So we are very, very grateful to the panelists, and we are also very grateful to all the other experts and the CFOs from other logistics organizations who have taken their time out to be here with us. So we wish to acknowledge again three more people here in our midst. So can we have Mr. J. Govindarajan, CFO of TT Group? I request Aarti ma'am to hand over a memento to them. J. Govindarajan, CFO, TT Group. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Kochet Narendran, Director, TT Skill. Thank you, sir. Mr. Dharmalingam, MD, Hinduja Group, Ashok Leyland. We are very grateful to all your presence here, and as I already pointed out in my welcome speech, it shows truly your commitment and dedication to take the logistics, further into by nurturing the fresh minds and young minds over here. And next, I wish to thank Dr. Aarti, the operations head of MCC MRF, who put together all of this, and we were able to have all the facilities and also able to interact with industry people. So thank you, ma'am, for enabling this event. And also I wish to thank the Business Ideation Department of Commerce Group. Can we give a big round of applause to the people here? Because they put all these things together. We only told them what has to be done, and they were able to execute it. So thank you so much, and thank you, the participants, right? It is you who have, who made it more interesting. Your questions and your participation, your very presence here, it is very encouraging for us. So thank you so much for being here with us. And also I wish to thank all the members of MCC MRF team, as well as all the IIC team representatives. So I wish to close with that, and thank you so much for being here today. And this is probably a small step, but as I told you, we might be shaping the future of logistics. So thank you once again, all of you.
In concluding this memorable event, we are reminded that none of this would have been possible without the grace and guidance of God. To offer a closing prayer, now I invite Asha Vinodi to lead us in the moment of prayer. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time together. We also want to thank you for enabling us to finish our session, Lord. Help us to live here with knowledge and purpose. We ask that you would help us to be wise, honest, and sincere about the things we discussed today, as well as those topics for which we plan on finding solutions, Lord.
May our time together show your love and divine guidance through Christ. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Kindly be seated. Thank you, Ms. Asha. Necessity, the mother of innovation. We think, we innovate, we grow. See you all next time with a bigger, better, and brighter innovative insight. Until then, this is Priya signing off. Thank you.